Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. You're welcome to Morning Spring today on this very day, 24th of October, year 2024. And of course, you know what we do at this time. Femi Ojo is my name, and I welcome you once again. Evelyn is here. Good morning.
Good morning, Femi.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
Very well.
Good morning, people. Welcome on board. It's such a great feeling to know that whenever we come on board, you are there waiting for us. It's always a great feeling, I tell you. And we do not take you for granted. That's why we always say thank you for, adding us to your morning routine. My name is Evelyn Ohiolei, welcoming you especially this Thursday morning. It's a beautiful day.
Yes,
and of course, we know that it's going to be a productive one for us here and for you over there.
Of course, and by the way, it's been a very eventful 24 hours.
Yeah.
Talking about, governance in Nigeria, rejigging or re-rejigging, if there's anything like that. At the federal level, it's been a day of firing and hiring, sacking and hiring, appointments and reappointment, transfer from one ministry to the other, scrapping of some ministries
and merging of some others.
Agencies of government. We learned yesterday, it was, I know Bayo Ononuga will be very busy yesterday because he has to be issuing press releases upon press releases, the State House, correspondents as well. Many of them, at the end of the day, we learned a couple of ministry has been scrapped. The Minister of Sport, by the way, has been scrapped, some agencies as well, development commissions as well, that will not just be standing alone. All have been subsumed into the Ministry of Regional Development, by the way, so we have time for that in the course of the program as well. So as many of you that were possibly permutating which of the ministers will be dropped, many persons say, oh, okay, this person is still there, that person is not there. And some of those things, we'll look into that in the course of. So let me ask you, Evelyn, were you surprised at the firing? Or there are persons you expect possibly to have been dropped that are still making the list?
I wouldn't want to put my own personal opinion
now, this is the time we have
there,
to do that.
But everybody saw it coming that the president was definitely going to fire. It's just that we didn't know.
Are you sure? People
Exactly. Yeah, because he had said that over and over time.
Okay,
it's just the timing was what people never expected, but people were actually anticipating that there was going to be a rejigging of some sort in the president's cabinet. 5 ministers were fired, 7 hired. I mean, for the ministers that were fired.
Tahir Maman, did you see that coming?
Really, I wouldn't.
The professor, Minister of Education.
I wouldn't say I saw that coming, but the president sure has his own reasons why he had to let him go. By the way,
of course,
Bayo Ononuga has already said that the word should not be sacked or fired; it should be discharged. They were discharged of their duties.
So after being discharged, they are now continuing with the work.
And he said, of course, the president thanked them for what they've been able to contribute into the administration for the few months that they were in. But I think the one that really surprised a lot of Nigerians would be that of the Ministry of Women Affairs, the minister in charge of, the former minister now in charge of Women Affairs.
She's now a former minister.
Ohiolei, yes. Wow. And, a lot of people said this woman was always out there, always speaking, always,
For the right reasons.
For the right reasons.
Are you sure?
For the right reasons. I mean, but a lot of people felt that she had to, be let off because she was posing more problems for Mr. President than garnering more
that's why
supporters.
To say, is he always for the right reasons? Or the woman is just out there? But by the way, she's not the only person. Dr. Jamila Bio Ibrahim, the Minister of Sport as well, was, what's that language again?
Minister of Sport,
no, youth
development,
was discharged.
Yes,
Relief over duty.
discharged.
as well, and some were posted from a ministry to the other.
I mean, John Anna was posted
From
from
sports.
sports to trade and investment,
Trade and
and a lot of
investment.
people were
That's
asking,
former
sports minister, what's the connection between
With-
sports and trade investment?
And you know, you can never say never. Maybe some of those that have been discharged, the language used by Bayo Onanuga yourself, you know, there might still, if you are in the good books of the powers that be, there might be other appointments. You can never say never. So maybe, and some of the talks, I'm sure they didn't just find out the same way we found out. I'm not sure that's the way it works. Possibly there might have been talks and arrangement. But these things, either appointment or dropped or being sacked or discharged, or those that have been appointed, Nigerians want to have dividends of democracy. That's what concerns many Nigerians. How will this translate into a better nation, especially the economy, whatever we want to do, and security? That is very important as well, because politicking, of course, is one thing. Governance is the main thing, and that is the essence and part of the reason, in fact, the essence of why we have this program, speaking truth to power and talking about everything that will make this great nation great again. Take this quick break. We'll be back. Stay with us. All right, thank you. And as we do on this program, we'll kickstart the headline segment. This is the part where we reel out, you know, just headlines for you from our major dailies, and we have them ready here again. Let's start this time, and of course, you can guess what will dominate the conversation from the dailies today. Let me pick it up from the Punch newspaper. Private sector, opposition split as Tinubu reshuffles cabinet. Private sector, opposition split as Tinubu reshuffles cabinet with riders. OPS backs Tinubu as opposition. CSOs, Nigerians demand sacking of more underperforming ministers. If only wishes were horses, by the way. If actually Nigerians or the president called for, you know, the opinions of Nigerians to put it in a paper and say, who do you want? Who wouldn't you want? I'm sure the Mr. President will be confused by now.
Of course, you cannot satisfy everybody.
On what to do. But some names, it's more like when you were in the primary school and your class captain is the one that you are not in good, relationship with. It's not your guy. Even when you are sleeping, your name will be in the list of the noisemakers. Even the day you didn't come to school. You know, there are some persons that, you know, Nigerians will say, this person number one, this person number two, this same person number three, you know. But then, President fires 5, appoints 7, reassigns 10 ministers as federal government merges and scraps ministries. Still on the Punch newspaper. And then the ministers that are in right now, you can see their faces talking about Dr. Netanwe Yetwada, Mohammed Dingyadi. Dingyadi served under Buhari, by the way, I think as police minister and minister in charge of police affairs, rather. Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu, you know, the wife of the late Chukwuemeka Odumegu Ojukwu. She was a former ambassador, by the way. Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, Idi Mukhtar Mahia, yes, Yusuf Atta, and Soweba Hamid. And the ones that are out, Uju Kennedy, former Minister of Women Affairs, Lola John, Minister of State, Jamila Bio Ibrahim, former Minister of Youth, rather, Tahir Mama, former Minister of Education, and Abdullah Iguazo. All right, and away from that, FEC OK $618 million loan for fighter jets and ammunition. $618 million loan for fighter jets and ammunition. Okay, Nigerians will ask and say, how about the Apache helicopters that we got? How about the Tucano fighter jets as well? How are we using these very high-tech instruments of war, by the way, for keeping peace? But that's the essence. And Canadian lady jailed 11 years for importing 35.20 kilogram cannabis. All right. And that should serve as deterrent, by the way, to others having that plan. Oyo Dam, Ogun communities reject Abiodun's relocation advisory. Right. And top strip, Dangote refinery begins direct petrol sale to marketers. Right. And 12 states delayed 30,000 naira minimum wage for teachers. 12 states delay 30,000 naira minimum wage for teachers. That's a report. And we are talking about 70,000 naira. All right. And diaspora, Nigerians get non-resident BVN platform December. That's coming from Cardoso. Diaspora Nigerians get non-resident BVN platform December. That's from Cardoso, the CBN governor. And the Ondo governorship corner, marking their rally support for Ajayi, says election will shock APC. And Ayedatiwa Wu's voters declares PDP umbrella finally torn. Interesting. That will be all from the Punch.
And from the Punch newspaper this morning, we head on to Nigerian Tribune. Nigerian Tribune, 429 days after Tinubu rejects 45-member cabinet, drops Ujuken Ohiolei, Bio, Tahi, Adejan, Guazo as ministers, nominates Bianca Ojukwu, Oduwole Dingyadi, Iwata, Mehi Atta Ahmed as ministers. Sunday Dare is special advisor to the president on public communication and orientation. And Sunday Dare used to be the minister of sports in Buhari's administration. Scraps Niger Delta Sports Ministries. National Sports Commission returns. Tunji Alausa, now Minister of Education. John Anna, now Minister of State, Trade and Investment. Tinubu creates Ministry of Regional Development. Ministry of Livestock Development gets minister. Clark rejects scrapping of Niger Delta Ministry, handing over processes to be completed October 30. These are riders under that particular big, bold headline on the Nigerian Tribune. And of course, you can see the photographs of the incoming ministers and the dropped ministers, the ministers that were dropped. Away from that, why Tinubu removed Kennedy Ohiolei, Adejan, Usman Tahi. You might want to know the reason, so get onto Nigerian Tribune and read that report for yourself. Still on Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning, let's see what we've got here. Many citizens facing difficulties in Nigeria. Naira showing signs of stability, says IMF. League of Northern Democrats, essential for Nigeria's future, says former President Olusegun Obasanjo with the rider, corrupt politicians will fight you, Danjuma wants. And FEC approves 443.3 million euros for $141 million credit facilities for fighter jets, ammunition. So that will be all from the Nigerian Tribune.
All right, from the Nigerian Tribune, let's move to the Guardian for today. The Guardian newspaper. Cautious optimism over Tinubu's reshuffled cabinet and changes. Of course, all of these names are, on the faces of the papers again. And away from that story, AUC, NCDMB, others move to commercialize research and end capital flight. AUC, NCDMB, others move to commercialize research, end capital flight. All right, flood displays 5 million Nigerians in 10 years. 5 million Nigerians have been displaced by flood in 10 years. And IMF tasked Nigeria, other African government on fiscal reforms, e-governance. I said it last week was about World Bank. Every day of the week there is a report, and this week, today is Thursday, it's about the IMF consistent report. By the way, from those Bretton Woods institutions, they're tasking Nigeria. That's IMF tasked Nigeria, other African government on fiscal reforms and e-governance, and allow PDP breathe. Ologbondiyan tells Atiku and Wike, allow PDP breathe. That breath is a common one. Ologbondiyan tells Atiku and Wike, right? And diphtheria killed 1,191 persons in 17 months, says CDC. That's not something we are proud of as a people. And the MBS says 85.2% of households use estimated billing. MBS, Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, says 85.2% of households use estimated billing. Okay, is it either black meter or the old black meter, or some doesn't even have a metering device at all? So it's estimated they bring 10,000 for you. You know, just like we said yesterday, the inhabitants of a house, we say, let's pay 2,000 naira. Okay, next week, 10,000 naira, another 2,000 naira. By the time that person has spent 3 years, he or she will say, I've been paying. I've been paying, and maybe somebody is collecting the money as well. By the time they bring the original bill for you, you'll be owing 521,000. And then you are asking, me, that I've been paying. And then it becomes an issue. The best thing is for us to be metered, for all households to be metered. Now, this report from the MBS is saying slightly higher than 14% are the households in Nigeria that are metered. 14% is at ages as well. And a federal government receives 350,000 applications, disburses 10 billion naira in student loan. 10 billion naira has been disbursed, 350,000 applications received. That will be all from The Guardian for today.
And from The Guardian newspaper this morning, let's add on to Daily Trust newspaper for today. On Daily Trust newspaper, Tinubu sacks 6 ministers, appoints 7 others, reassign portfolios to 10. Cabinet still overbloated, says CSOs. Lean government workforce will cut wastes. Ex-permanent secretary will resist attempt to scrap Niger Delta ministry. For Daily Trust, 6 ministers, and you know, some dailies reported it as 5. I think probably where the 6th minister is coming from is the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Better Edu. Her name was not on the list. You know, she was suspended. She was not discharged of her duties, and I think it was. It should. And
now that there is another
minister, that means she's gone. But I think that should have actually made that news. It should have been put there that she has been let off her duty or discharged of her duty or fired, any which
then terminology that means she has been fired, but it wasn't put out by the State House officially. Because now that her name didn't make the list of the ones dropped, you know, she has been dropped a long time ago.
All right, so of course you can see the photographs of the newly appointed ministers there, and one that has got people talking is that of the appointment of the Minister of State Foreign Affairs, Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu. That's the wife of late Chukwemeka Ojukwu. By the way, she has been an ambassador before, I think, to Spain. And I think this ministry,
capacity working with the United Nations.
Yes, this ministry she's heading has to do with foreign affairs. So I want to believe it's a round peg in a round hole. But some Nigerians are really questioning our appointment. Like I said earlier, you cannot really satisfy everybody.
Yeah, you can.
A Jigawa tanker explosion. We lost 50 relatives. 50 relatives. I think this is coming from a particular family losing 50 relatives in one night. It's a sad one. FG withdraws money laundering charges against Binance executive. That's another news that, got people talking yesterday. FG withdraws money laundering charges against Binance executive. That's the executive of Binance, Gambayan, that is still in custody. Remember, the Anjawala, who was the other executive that was arrested, fled lawful detention. Until today, we do not know what the case is with him, and we do not actually have update on that. The latest update we have on that particular story is the federal government withdrawing the money laundering charges against Gambayan. External reserves hit $40 billion as Nigeria targets $1 billion monthly inflow. Good news for Nigeria. but at what cost to Nigerians? That will be the question, on the lips of so many. Yes, our foreign external reserves is, uh, increasing, but the money in the pocket of Nigerians
Reportedly increasing.
decreasing.
Decreasing, rather. Yeah.
So, Emir Sanusi to Turban elder son, Chiroman Kanu. And top corner, Daily Trust newspaper this morning. FG gives Julius Berger ultimatum on Abuja Kaduna Kano Road. Amidst tariff hike demand, consumers decry fast data depletion, poor connectivity. I said this yesterday. Some people are of the opinion that the data they receive now from telcos is very watery. I don't know what the word watery means, but now we have it in the news saying that the consumers decry fast data depletion and poor connectivity. It means they are not really getting value for what they are paying for. If I pay for something, I should be able to enjoy it well. Why should I get 50 gig data and for the 1 month I'm going to be using it, I cannot boast of great connectivity.
Yeah.
For me, downloading or uploading, it's an issue. It's a
an
war
issue.
on its own. And I think they should look into this. FCCPC should also look into this. Diphtheria kills 1,191 in 17 months. This is coming from the NCDC. And that is all from the front page of Daily Trust newspaper this morning.
All right. These that has made it the front pages of different newspapers is what we'll be looking at this time on the program. A couple of ministries have been scrapped, some have been subsumed, some agencies, have been development commissions, rather, Niger Data Development Commissions. And then you heard from what Evelyn read that some persons are agitating to say, we'll resist that. Niger Delta Development Commission, really, NCDC,
But really, it wasn't scrapped. It was just made to accommodate other regional commissions like the Southeast Development Commission,
well, I'm talking about the NCDC, right?
Yeah.
NDDC, Niger Data Development Commissions, and all that development commissions will now be,
in one particular ministry. That's why I said
regional development.
It shouldn't be taken as if it was scrapped. It wasn't scrapped.
I'm sure there are many persons that feel the NDDC is bigger.
Should be a lone ministry on its own.
And the kind of cash cow nature of that particular development commission as well. Niger Data Development Commission, Southeast Development Commission. I think there is Northeast Development Commission as well, and recently Southwest Development Commission, and a couple of other commissions. I think the Southeast Development Commission has been passed as well. I'm not sure if actually it has been assented to. And all these development commissions will now be coordinated by another ministry called Regional Development Ministry, And these are some of the issues as well. Ministry of Sport, for many persons, I'm not sure they saw it coming, now is now defunct. Every activity around sport will now be coordinated by the Sport Commission, National Sport Commission. We have always had Sport Commission before, but I think it's back right now. And former Secretary General of the NFF, Shehu Diko, is the man in charge right now. It's a season of appointment, laughs and cackling, and hallelujah in some places, and bending of head, and what next in another guys, and such is like. But then, how does it translate into good governance? That will be our next talking point on the program. It's Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. Stay with us.